in this situation, try. Have them fill out a form. Have them go ahead. We've got some special instructions for that. That's, again, simple to do. Try. It's not illegal. There's nothing wrong about it. And it's amazing, even in states that forbid these children to vote, not all elected local election officials seem to have gotten the message. And some of them will send ballots. So we keep pushing on them. Finally, all of our children will vote, which is their right.
Is there a specific,
yes.
Is there a specific reason why, and I'm in Virginia, why they say no?
It's in their state constitution in Virginia. I don't know how it got there, but it's there. So that changing it would probably mean either accepting the vote or amending the Constitution. So.
Which they have tried to do in the past, and just didn't pass.
Laura?
Are there any states that require notarization of your ballot?
I think it's gone down to like one or none. Oh, sorry. No, notarization is out. There's one or two that require witnessing and under special circumstances. But if you're using our site, it'll tell you that.
Okay.
That's one of the great things. The computer is just revolutionized. In the days of Kathy Webster, our voting goddess, you had to hump around a 5-pound book and 6 pounds of forms. And these days, you just lead someone to the PC and bing, bing, bing. In Copenhagen, we had an event last week and registered 40 people in 2 hours with 4 computers.
There's none.
Yep.
Is there a actual residence requirement? Or, I mean, you're talking about children born overseas as opposed to ones born in the U.S. and then moved overseas?
No. What the state requirement is generally, if you are a citizen, a lot of states require you to have at least 4 consecutive years residence in this state to have established residence as an adult. And the problems we've had in the last few years are particularly Virginia and Maryland. But again, our experience with this is that if you register now, you try to do it early, and you run into problems, and you do occasionally run into problems, any problem can be solved with effort and time. And now we have time. Later on, we're not going to have time.
Can we take one more?
Yeah, is there a deadline for what, or does it vary from state to state?
It varies from state to state. Minnesota, for example, I think permits election day registration. But for overseas, that's very difficult to do. Don't leave it that late. Every year, I get a couple of emails on election day saying, I'm an American and I'd like to vote. And I always respond, good luck in 2 years. So now's our time. Use this time now.
There's another thing about
timeline as to from when do you have to have
most states require you to be registered before they dispatch ballots. The new law says they have to dispatch ballots at least 45 days before the election. The election is the 6th of November. If you're going on the FAWCO trip, go home, sober up, vote. November 4th is when your trip ends. You should be fine by the 6th, though. That's great. But ballots go out 45 days before the election at least. Register now. Because one thing that OVF recommends and that we recommend, when you get the printout with your form to send in, it will say who your local election official is and what their email address is. And in about 2 weeks after you send your form in, email this person and make sure about your status. We don't anticipate any of the voter ID problems that residents in the United States may have, but occasionally there are glitches. And again, now we have time. Now we can solve these problems.
Can I say one thing? The federal write-in absentee ballot that you can use if you have not received your ballot is a wonderful, wonderful thing. But you can only use that if you have timely filed your request for a ballot. So you can't wake up on the last, in the last week and say, oh, well, I forgot to do that. I'm going to just fill out an emergency ballot.
Yeah, this is a classic case of the road to hell being paved with good intentions. If you want to vote, register now. Okay? Anything else?
I have a question.
Okay.
We'll open the floor up for questions from everybody when we've all had a chance to. Well, take this lady.
Okay.
Well, 1 year I was actually in the States, not in my home state. I sent in my absentee ballot form anyway. If you're back in the States, can you vote?
Absentee means you are absent from the place where you would be voting otherwise. I would be voting in a school in Houston, Texas. And if I'm anywhere else on election day, which I'm pretty confident I will be, that's an absentee ballot is fine.
And if you're in your home state?
If you are not in the polling place, an absentee ballot is fine.
Okay, we'll, I hope, have time for when everybody's still together for more questions from Mary Stewart. Yes, okay, this is, we don't have our citizenship chair here, but this is an important change. Relatively recently, I sent out a Washington Update bulletin about it. I don't know whether everyone has heard it. Immigrant visas for non-American family members. If you're married to a German who obviously doesn't have American nationality, if you don't live in a country which has a United States, a USCIS, what's that? United States Citizen Immigration Service office, and most countries in the world do not have those offices, you can no longer go to your local embassy and ask and apply for an immigrant visa there. It has to be sent to what they call a drop box in Chicago.